Training Tips Tuesday, and joining us today we have Stella, and of course the important part, her trainer and owner. We've got Traci Bittler with us today, and we're going to continue to talk about training tools and some of the classes at that place for pets. So we were talking about collars in general, but there are certain collars you say that are really great for training. Tell us more about that.
Wonderful. So there's, again, several different methods. Most of us are familiar with the training or the slip collar, and it gives like the last time we talked about, dogs learn by the release of pressure. So the pressure gets their attention, the release of pressure tells them they've done it right, and then you back it up with a treat.
Right.
So with a slip collar, you can see how it pops, and it's got a thing on it. Pops and releases, it runs really, really smooth. So as long as you're using it appropriately, it will be able to help you communicate with your dog clearly, concisely, right? If it's not on appropriately and correctly, it's going to lock, and then it doesn't release. So you're not communicating with your dog. Your dog has no idea what you're doing, and you're just basically dragging your dog along and kind of choking it.
Right, yeah.
So it's important, it's very important to always get with someone before you start a training, come to classes, and we can teach you how to correctly use any kind of training tool.
All right.
Okay?
Now, this seems like a scary training tool.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
it does.
It does. It looks really scary.
And we have a couple different kinds that do. They look like almost, you know, archaic torture devices.
Right, yeah, exactly.
But in all reality, these are some of the safest tools you can use. And I'll explain why. So we use what's called a Herm Springer. That's the manufacturer. And you can see that this has a nice block here, and that's the release. It makes it open and close, which I'm not going to fuss with today. But when you put this on the dog's neck, this block goes in front of your trachea, their trachea.
Okay.
So with a slip collar, the trachea has no protection. So if you pop too hard, it can collapse or crush the trachea, and that causes your dog lifelong problems.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
And you don't want to hurt your dog that you love.
Correct.
Yeah,
exactly. So sometimes if you have dogs that are like when you're walking them and your shoulder is coming out of the socket, a lot of times these kinds of collars work very, very well because, first of all, you have no danger of hurting their trachea. Second of all, it communicates with the dog as its mother would. So when a mother corrects their dog, they put a little pressure around their neck with their teeth.
Oh, yeah, you see
Well, you
that.
can feel these. These aren't hard at all.
No, they aren't.
They're not
Yeah.
pointy. They're not sharp. You can put them on here, on your arm, and you're not going to ever...
You're not bleeding or anything.
No, it's not scratching. It's not doing.
So that's kind of mimicking their mom?
It does.
That's wild.
And we only recommend the Herm Springer because, and there's no endorsement here, but the way it's attached, the prongs go in opposite directions on both sides. So you're getting a correct correction as their mother would. In other ones that don't have this block in front of their trachea, these all go in the same direction, and it's not very effective because you're only getting partial communication, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
And so this one, some people are a little concerned with the metal, so they also have a plastic one. And again, you can feel these aren't hard, they're not sharp. You can put them, now again, this is quite large for my arm, but there's nothing here that hurts, right, Stella? Yes. So if you've got those dogs that are really pulling hard, please come to training classes. We can show you how to use all of these tools appropriately and correctly.
Right.
And then you'll be able to communicate with your dog, and your dog will learn so much faster because it understands what you're asking.
Right. And you guys have periodic training classes where you can call and get involved and just make sure your pet's a good communication between the two of you, right? That's what you want, your pet to understand you.
Absolutely. We have training classes. They run every 8 weeks. We have puppy pre-K, which is for those puppies that are smaller and younger, and it's socialization. We have puppy kindergarten, where you take what you've learned and you can build on that with some obedience, and also lots of socialization, puppy playtime, where the puppies get to play for 15 minutes. That's my favorite part of puppy kindergarten. And then dog obedience classes, we call it our family dog class. And those are where you take what you learned in puppy kindergarten and then improve upon it, right? So kindergarten, first, second, third grade, family dog, right? Then we have community dog, which is, middle school, where you improve those. And then there's the fun classes like agility and rally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Great stuff at that place for pets. Thanks for coming today.
Thanks so much.
All right, don't go away. First Edition continues in a moment.